Thank you for tuning in to the NSUSpartans.com weekly football coaches show. This week we put a cap on the 2011 season with NSU football coach Pete Adrian. And Coach, looking back a little bit about your first appearance in the playoffs, obviously didn't quite turn out how you would have wanted against Old Dominion, a 35-18 loss. You got out to the quick start there with a 98-yard touchdown pass from Chris Wally to Derek Demps and had the momentum, but ODU seemed to respond quickly and kind of seize momentum after that.
Yeah, we I already thought we would have played better. I really wish I had the secret why we didn't. I mean, we came out with 18 penalties. You get 18 penalties in the game, it's really tough to win. And we obviously at times did not play good in the secondary with their coverages and things of that nature. And offensively, we were able to move the football, but we just couldn't finish the drives. And again, to get 2 field goals blocked. So, I got to give ODU credit. They did a nice job. They played hard, but our kids also played hard. It was a great experience, great environment. And again, I really want to give kudos to ODU's administration. I thought they ran the game first class. They treated our fans very well, and I think everybody had a great time at the game, and that's what it's supposed to be about. And this is one thing that Coach Water and I talked about, that we wanted to make this a very intense rivalry, but we want it to be a fun rivalry, where after the game you do go out and eat hot dogs or ribs and stuff together. And I think that happened on Saturday, and again, give them kudos on that and wish them good luck in the playoffs.
Now, of course, the 6-year series with Old Dominion will start in 2013. This will give them a little bragging rights until that time, but I know your kids will definitely be eager to, again, work out with them this summer and be eager to see those guys again here at Norfolk State in 2013.
Yeah, well, I think it's part of the rivalry. Whoever wins is going to brag for the year, and that's what makes it so intense. But yeah, the guys, we sure I'm playing together, and of course, in 2013, it's our place, and hopefully there'll be 30,000 people in there, and they'll be cheering for us as loud as what ODU did for their own home team. It was certainly a home field advantage, but there should be a home field advantage when you have something like that. So again, I think it's a great start to the series.
Now, what can the team take away from Saturday's game? Obviously, their first experience in the playoffs. Moving forward, what are some lessons that they can learn from Saturday?
Well, I think, it was something new for the guys in the playoff series. And I think that's it's always new. You never know how your kids are going to react to that stuff. And overall, I thought we reacted okay, but it's nothing like having been there. I kind of put it back to in 2007 when we were in the championship game against Delaware. You had to finish that, and we couldn't do it. And I think some of that was because you've never been there before. Where this year, I think we just proved we had to win those 2 games on the road, and we went out when there was no doubt about that we could do that. So there's nothing like experience. I think that explains our 9-2 football team with the experience we had coming back, particularly on defense and how well they played, and the special teams with all the experience we had there. And then I thought that the offense really played well when they had to and made plays when they had to.
Now, moving forward, obviously this season will be remembered, of course, for your first MEAC championship here at Norfolk State. As a coach, what are some things you'll remember about this season, maybe some moments you'll reflect on, and things you'll take away from this season, from this special group of players you had this year?
Well, I sound like a broken record, but probably the biggest thing was just the chemistry on this football team was outstanding. I mean, it was like that since January. And I mean, the guys just did everything you wanted them to do. They didn't complain. They just went out and they competed against each other, whether it was in weightlifting, whether it was in sprint drills or agility drills or on the football field. And they really pulled for each other. And I mean, that's kind of a unique thing. And if you could model it, you'd be winning this coach in the country every year if you could do that. But you just can't do it because every team is different. Because once again, we're losing a lot of good football players in many ways. Good citizens, good students, the whole 9 yards. And it's not that the kids you got aren't, but you never know how that leadership's going to be.
How will you sort of address that with your team in the offseason? Obviously, some leaders are just born, guys like Corwin Hammond and Hassan Craig, Chris Wally leading by example. How do you kind of address that with the team and try to motivate them and find that next group of leaders next season? Well,
you already have an idea who you think your leaders are going to be. And one thing I've always stressed is you can be a leader whether you're a senior or a freshman. You lead by doing the right thing. And we had a whole group of guys that did the right thing. And so I'm hoping that will continue, because the biggest thing that these guys learn is look what it led to. It led to our first championship in 27 years, and that was certainly a big part of it, the stuff that they did. And I know the guys were already asking me, Coach, when we're going to start doing the mat drills again. Of course, that doesn't happen until February, but that was a big part of it also. And it's just the dedication that the guys want to do, and you give them things where you kind of test them, and then you'll find out, okay, hey, we've got 100% attendance, whatever we're doing, it's a good sign. You know, like yesterday, I walked by the weight room and our 3 returning guys from the kicking team were in there lifting weights. Well, when your kickers are lifting weights when they don't have to, that's a pretty good sign already.
Absolutely. Now, of course, the football season may be over for you, but of course things don't slow down at all. You're hitting the busy period now of recruiting for these next couple months leading up to National Signing Day in February. You mentioned the seniors. You lost a group of 20 guys and a number of starters. What are some of the main areas that you're going to be looking to fill this year with your recruiting class?
Well, the biggest thing that we have to do is we have to rebuild some depth. You know, and I mean, offensively, we have all our offensive line coming back but one. We have all our receivers coming back but one. We have all the running backs coming back. Of course, we lose Wally, which is a big loss, but there's a couple guys here that are already in our program that I think can fill the void right there. So that should be very solid, and we'll add some people to that to help make it better. Our kicking game should be solid, particularly with Everett coming back, and of course you have your snappers coming back, which is a real key. Defensively, we've got a good core of guys coming back. Our defensive line should be strong again because the 4 defensive linemen that we lost, we get back, and that's a big plus. And of course, we're adding to that also. Our linebacking core, our starters will be real strong, but we've got to get backup guys behind it. And I think in our starting linebackers, we've probably got 2 or 3 guys there that certainly have a chance to be all conference. And then secondary-wise, we lost 2 safeties, and they have to be replaced. So the cupboard's not empty, but we have to go out and get some quality guys. Of course, we're looking to bring in maybe a couple of junior college transfers, maybe a transfer from a 4-year school here or there. But you know, my biggest thing with all that is they have to be able to fit what we do, and that's the key. As long as they fit from a playing standpoint, from a social standpoint, which is real important about your chemistry, and that's one thing we've been very fortunate for. We don't bring in a whole lot of transfers, but the guys that we do bring in usually play, and that really helps the chemistry part of it.
Now, obviously, you've had a number of really good recruiting classes in recent years, not only guys who are productive on the field, but also the right personalities for your program, too. What kind of a bump have you seen so far, if anything, or at least a benefit from winning the championship as far as your early returns in recruiting so far?
Well, you know, everybody knows what you did, and of course, the nice thing to get off your back is when you get in the recruiting wars, everybody will say, well, you know, they can't win a championship, or they've never won a championship. Well, now they can't say that because you're the current champion. So that opens up more doors for you also. And you know, everybody likes to go with a winner, so to speak, and we're starting to establish that now with 3 winning seasons in a row and winning the championship. And you know, I think we have as good a chance as anybody else in the league to repeat next year. But you know, things you have to do, you have to stay healthy, you got to get a few bounces, and everything's got to go the right way. And I don't care who wins it; that's part of the formula.
All right. Well, Coach, things certainly went the right way for you this year. Congratulations again on a great season, 9-3 record, your first MEAC championship, most wins in the Division I era. Certainly a lot to be proud of, and a lot that the fans here will remember for quite some time from 2011.
Well, that's good. I appreciate that. And one last thing, remember, behold the green and gold.
We know they will. And again, this will be our last episode of the Spartan Coaches Show for 2011, but we will, of course, have updates for you throughout the offseason, all the news relating to NSU football, and of course we'll have in-depth coverage of National Signing Day in February, so be sure to check back frequently for all your information on Spartan football at nsuspartans.com.